The fluorescent lights of the Starlight Motel hummed with a tired rhythm, the kind of sound that gets under your skin after 12 hours of staring at the same check-in desk. I was on my third night shift this week and my coffee had gone cold an hour ago. The bell above the door hadn't jingled in hours. Just me, the hum, and the thick cigarette-scented air. Room 8 had been occupied since Tuesday, when Mr. Abernathy checked in, name on the register James Abernathy. His eye looked legit, paid cash for 3 nights. That's standard procedure. Tuesday night came and went, Wednesday came and went. Thursday morning, I expected him to check out. He didn't. Room stayed occupied. Same name, no new payment. Tried calling room 8 afternoon, no answer. Housekeeping knocked, no answer. Policy says we can't enter without permission, or a 24-hour notice of unavailability, so we waited. Thursday evening, room 8 still occupied. Friday morning, still occupied. Name on the register never changed. James Abernathy, 42, from Ohio, his eye said. I started watching the door to room 8. From the small window in the office, I could see it at the end of the second floor walkway. Room 8, it was always closed, never a light on, never the curtain pulled back, never anyone coming or going, no luggage. No car in the parking spot assigned to it, just empty and occupied. Friday night, the hum of the fluorescent lights sounded louder. My coffee was definitely gone. I kept glancing at the door to room 8. It was like it was watching me back. That's when I noticed it. A shadow, moving just behind the curtain. A tall, thin shape, too thin to be human. It moved with a jerky, unnatural rhythm, like a marionette with tangled strings. I blinked. It was gone. My heart hammered against my ribs. Must be the tiredness, the lack of sleep, the bad coffee. Saturday morning, I was going over the register. James Abernathy. Checked in Tuesday for 3 nights. Now it was Saturday, 5 days. Policy said after 3 days of non-payment, contact the guest, then 2 more days. Enter the room, but the register showed the same entry. James Abernathy, 3 nights. Paid, never left. I called the manager. Something's off with room 8, I said. Guest hasn't checked out. Register says he paid for 3 nights, but it's been 5 days. Has anyone seen him? The manager asked. No lights, no noise, nothing. Well, as long as the room is paid for, I guess just let it be. Some people just like their privacy. Privacy, right. I hung up the phone. My reflection in the dark screen of the monitor looked pale, tired, afraid. Saturday night. The hum was a physical thing now. It was a physical, vibrating in my teeth. Couldn't stop looking at room 8, every sound. The wind rustling trees outside, a car passing on the highway, made me jump. Saw the shadow again. This time it stayed longer. A tall, thin thing, moved from one side of the curtain to the other, wasn't walking. It was gliding, like it was floating just above the floor. I picked up the phone, dialing the police. My hand shook. I think there's someone in room 8 who shouldn't be. What's the problem, sir? He's been there since Tuesday, paid for 3 nights. He's never left. I've seen things. Sir, if he's paid, he's allowed to stay, unless he's causing trouble. He hasn't made any noise. I'm scared. Sir, is there anyone in danger? I don't know. Then we can't do anything. Hung up the phone, defeated. The shadow moved behind the curtain, turned its head, looked right at me. Even from there, I felt its eyes. Cold, ancient, not human. Sunday morning. The door to room 8 was open. Housekeeping must have finally convinced someone to let them clean. I watched from the office window. No one came out. The maid went in. She came out 10 minutes later, pale as a sheet. Don't ever send me back in there, she whispered before hurrying to her car. I went to the door, peered inside. The room was clean, but it was wrong. The bed was made, too perfectly. Tucked so tight the corners could cut paper. The bathroom gleamed. No toothbrush, no soap, nothing, no personal effects at all. Just emptiness, and a cold that had nothing to do with the air conditioning. I checked the register. Same entry. Checked in Tuesday. All were raw. For 3 nights. No checkout, no new entry. Sunday night, I couldn't stay in the office. The hum was driving me insane. I walked outside, lit a cigarette. The night air was cold. I watched the door to room 8. It stayed closed. No shadow, no movement, just silence. Deeper, heavier silence than before. I heard a sound from above, footsteps on the walkway, not the heavy tread of a man, not the light step of a woman, something hollow, something dragging. I looked up. At the walkway above room 8, there was a figure, tall, thin, dressed in the clothes from a bygone era. A fedora pulled low over its face. It was standing outside room 8, not knocking, not moving, just waiting. The figure turned, looked down at me. Even from that distance, I knew it was Mr. Abernathy, the one from the register, the one who'd been checking in every night for 40 years, the one who never left. It smiled. A thin, bloodless curve of a mouth. It raised a hand, waved, not a friendly wave. A summons. I dropped my cigarette, ran to my car, didn't even clock out, just left. The Starlight Motel, humming lights, room 8, all behind me. Drove until the town was just a speck in my rearview mirror. I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that smile, that wave. I called the motel the next day, asked to speak to the manager. I'll be in. It's you, he said. The new clerk. Yes, I quit. Good, he said. Some things aren't meant to be disturbed. What do you mean? Room 8 has been occupied for 40 years. Same name, same guest every night. Some doors are better left unopened. I hung up the phone. The line was dead silence. No hum, no nothing. Just the sound of my own breathing. Fast, shallow. I look at my hands. They were shaking. I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Not from the motel, from somewhere closer, from the reflection in the dark screen of my phone, from the corner of the room behind me. Subscribe to Midnight Mysteries for more tales that seep into the shadows. I turned around, slowly. The room was empty. Just me, in the shadows. The air had changed. That sweet pine scent from the air freshener, gone. Replaced by something else. Something old, like dust, mildew, and something else I couldn't name. Like ozone. Like after a lightning strike. My phone screen went dark. I tapped it. Nothing. Dead battery? That didn't make sense. I charged it before leaving the motel. Full battery. I tried again. The screen flickered. For a second, a face. My face, but not mine. The eyes were wrong. Too wide. Too dark. No pupils. Just voids. Then it was gone. Screen stayed dark. Cold. Dead. I dropped the phone like it had burned me. It clattered onto the hardwood floor. I didn't dare pick it up. I backed away, my heart hammering against my ribs. The walls seemed closer, the ceiling lower. The shadows in the corners of the room had deepened. They weren't just shadows anymore. They had substance. They had weight. They were pressing in. A sound. From the kitchen, the soft scrape of a chair leg against the linoleum. I hadn't touched that chair all day. Hadn't been in the kitchen since morning. My coffee mug sat there untouched since breakfast. The chair was in its place, but it had moved. Just an inch or two, enough to leave that faint sound in the suddenly too quiet room. Hello? My voice came out as a croak, a sound I barely recognized. Is anyone there? The silence that answered was worse than any noise. There was a presence, an awareness. Something was listening, something was waiting. I moved to the front door, steps careful, silent, needed to get out. Just for a minute, breathe, see if the world outside was still normal. Reached for the handle. Cold, so cold it burned my palm. For a second, then just cold, metal, normal, turned it. The door didn't budge, locked. I always locked it, always did. But I hadn't heard the click, not tonight. I hadn't done it. Panic, cold and sharp, pricked at my skin. I tried the handle again. Yanked this time, nothing. The door was solid, unmoving, like it had grown into the frame, trapped, not by a lock, but by something else, something that didn't care about locks. I backed away from the door, my eyes scanning the room, the window, the big front window. I could see the street outside. A streetlight, a parked car, normalcy, safety. I crossed the room, my feet feeling heavy, like they were stuck in wet cement. I reached the curtain and pulled it back. The streetlight flickered. Once, twice. The car was gone. No, not gone. Different. It wasn't my neighbor's sedan, it was a big black car. A vintage car, from the 50s or 60s. Chrome gleaming under the streetlight, but it was empty. No driver, no passengers, just sitting there, waiting. Then I saw it, movement, in the driver's seat. Not a person. Something else. A shape. Indistinct, wrongly proportioned. Like a mannequin with limbs that were too long, too thin. It turned its head. The streetlight caught the glass of the windshield. For a second, I saw the reflection of the house. My house. And in the reflection, in the window behind me, there were two shapes, standing in the darkness of my living room. Watching me, I spun around. Nothing. Just empty room. The shadows, the oppressive silence. My breath came in ragged gasps. I was losing my mind. The stress of the last few days, the lack of sleep, it was getting to me. Had to be. I stumbled back toward the kitchen, needing the solid surface of the counter, something to hold on to, something real. My hand found the cold formica, and then it touched something else. something warm, fleshy. I froze. My eyes dropped slowly to the counter. Sitting next to my coffee mug was a single object. A key. Old. Brass. The kind that opens a heavy door. The kind from an old hotel. Or a motel. A key with a number on a faded tag. 8. The number 8. I didn't recognize it. Never seen it before in my life. My heart hammered against my ribs like a trapped bird. My eyes darted around the kitchen, searching for an explanation. An intruder? Someone playing a game? The silence pressed in thick and heavy. I held my breath, listening, for footsteps, for breathing, for anything. Nothing, just the hum of the refrigerator, the tick of the clock on the wall. The silence became a physical presence, filling the space between me and the unknown. I reached out, my fingers trembling. I had to touch it. Confirm it was real. My fingertips brushed the brass. It was cold, solid, a key, just a key. I snatched my hand back as if it had burned me. What was it doing here? Whose was it? The questions spiraled, each one more terrifying than the last. I stumbled backward, my heel catching on the leg of a chair. The crash was deafening in the quiet room. The sound echoed, bouncing off the walls before dying into a silence that felt deeper, more threatening than before. I stayed on the floor, frozen, waiting for the inevitable. For something to happen, for someone to appear. But nothing did. The house held its breath. After a minute that stretched into an eternity, I pushed myself up. My legs felt weak, like they might give out. I didn't dare look at the key again. Couldn't. Instead, I fumbled for my phone. My thumb shook as I typed in the password. The screen lit up, the bright glow cutting through the gloom. I needed to call someone. My sister. Mark. Anyone. Just a voice to break the suffocating quiet. My finger hovered over the contacts list. And then I saw it. A notification. A message from an unknown number. My thumb hesitated. Should I? Could I ignore it? Curiosity warred with a primal fear. With a deep, shuddering breath, I tapped on it. The screen displayed a single sentence. It was simple. It was clear. It made no sense. Don't forget what you came back for. My blood ran cold. The words were just text on a screen, but they felt like a threat, a memory, a warning. I came back. Where had I gone? I'd been here all day. The day before. The week before. I hadn't left. Not really. My eyes darted back to the kitchen counter, to the brass key. What if the message was connected? What if it was about the key? I tried to think, to remember. Had I booked a motel recently? Had I been somewhere with an 8? Nothing. My memory was a blank wall. I tried to call my sister, but my thumb slipped, and I ended up dialing voicemail. The mechanical voice asked for my password. I hung up. I couldn't do it, not yet, not until I understood. My feet moved of their own accord, carrying me toward the bedroom. The door was ajar. I pushed it open slowly, the wood creaking in protest. The room was dark. The curtains were drawn, blocking out the streetlight. The usual clutter was there. Clothes on the chair, books on the nightstand. But something was wrong. The air was different. Stale. Like a room that hadn't been aired in days. I walked to the nightstand, my hand outstretched to turn on the lamp. And then I saw it. On top of the stack of books. An object. Small. White. A business card. My name was typed on it. Below it an address. A place I'd never heard of. My fingers picked it up. The card was thick, expensive. The ink felt raised. I flipped it over. On the back, a single sentence. Room 8. You're expected. The same 8. The same number. The key. The message. It was all connected. But how? I didn't remember getting this card. I didn't remember booking anything. I didn't remember anything. The fear was back, cold and sharp in my chest. I needed to leave. Now. Run. Get out of the house. I dropped the card on the bed and backed out of the room. I needed my phone. I needed to call for help. I turned and walked straight into a wall of cold. I stumbled back, my heart leaping into my throat. There wasn't a wall. There was a person, a man, standing in the hallway, just beyond the threshold of the bedroom. He was tall, thin, dressed in dark clothes that seemed to absorb the light. His face was in shadow. I couldn't see his eyes, just the shape of his head, the curve of his mouth, a small smile, a familiar smile. You shouldn't have come back, he said. His voice was a dry whisper, like dead leaves scraping against pavement. The memory is a fragile thing, and you broke it.